Before we get started, I might have to say some things. Number one, the uploads. It's been I've not been uploading, been a bit busy, not on holiday, but I'm back now, and it's been quite breaking news regarding Manchester United player number 2. There'll be no jokes, no fun. I'm just gonna give you the facts and where it will go next. It's a very sensitive topic, so please be respectful to anyone's opinion. But if it's nasty, death threats, abuse, all of that, you'll be banned. So I must stress you about that as well. And before we get started, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna tell you about this situation. The player in suggestion is the Manchester United forward Mason Greenwood. On the 30th of January 2022, Greenwood was accused of R-word and assaulting a victim, the alleged victim, and it came to light on social media from the said alleged victim of an audio recording, which is very, very disturbing. And I will not. It's everywhere, and I'm not gonna show the recording or the images, which are very, very graphic. And later on that same day, because of this, Manchester United immediately suspended Greenwood from all action within the club. The following day, 2 days later, on the 1st of February, Greenwood was further arrested with another essay and threats to kill. And then his sports apparel company Nike had dropped him, and EA Sports removed him from the FIFA games. Then on the 2nd of February, Greenwood was released on bail, and he had certain conditions to apply, and they were extended from time on. And on the 15th, we go all the way forward to the 15th of October 2022, Greenwood was arrested for breaching bail conditions from allegedly contacting the alleged victim. And on that same day, he was charged with attempted assault occasioning actually bodily harm of the alleged incident, and controlling coercive behaviour. And he was remanded into custody, denied bail, and appeared in court. One of them was in a prison van. A few days later, in a private hearing, he was released on bail again and had to follow conditions. And then another hearing came along, and on the 2nd of February 2023, the Crown Prosecution Service dropped all charges against Greenwood, citing the withdrawal of key witnesses and new material that came to light. So that was the legal side of things. Now Manchester United started to conduct their own investigation around the Mason Greenwood affair. It's from the beginning of February, when the charges were dropped, until Monday the 21st of August. On the Monday the 21st of August, at 3 o'clock precise, Manchester United released a statement. Manchester United has conducted its internal investigation into the alleged allegations made against Mason Greenwood. Our process commenced in February 2023, following all charges against Mason being dropped. Throughout, we have taken into account the wishes, rights, and perspective of the alleged victim, along with the club's standards and values, and sought to collate as much information and context as possible. This has required us to proceed with sensitivity and care to obtain evidence not in the public domain, including in those with direct knowledge of the case. Based on the evidence available to us, we have concluded that the material posted online did not prove a full picture, and that Mason did not commit the offences in respect of what he was originally charged. That said, as Mason publicly acknowledges today, he has made mistakes, which he is taking responsibility for. All those involved, including Mason, recognise the difficulties with him recommencing his career at Manchester United. It has therefore been mutually agreed that it would be most appropriate for him to do so away from Old Trafford, and we will now work with Mason to achieve that outcome. So that statement reads that Mason Greenwood will leave Manchester United. His contract will not be terminated as he did not breach the said contracts that he's on right now. But if the investigation found out he did do it, it's over for him. His contract will be terminated. So that's why he's still at Manchester United right now, but he's not going to be part of the squad and he will not be training. He'll be going at the earliest opportunity. Just to clarify things. Immediately, Mason Greenwood released this statement. I want to start by saying I understand that people will judge me because of what they have seen and heard on social media. I don't know, people will think the worst. I was brought up to know that violence or abuse in any relationship is wrong. I did not do the things I was accused of, and in February I was cleared of all charges. However, I fully accept I made mistakes in my relationship and I take my share of responsibility for the situations, which led to the social media post. I am learning to understand my responsibilities to set a good example as a professional footballer, and I'm focused on the big responsibility of being a father, as well as a good partner. Today's decision has been part of a collaborative process between Manchester United, my family and me. The best decision for us all, for me, to continue my football career away from Old Trafford, where my presence will not be a distraction for the club. I thank the club for their support since I joined age 7. They will always be part of me, which is United. I am enormously grateful to my family and all my loved ones for their support, and it is now for me to repay the trust those around me have shown. I intend to be a better footballer, but most importantly a good father, a better person, and to use my talents in a positive way on and off the pitch. So that was the statements regarding Mason Greenwood, confirming he's leaving United, denying the allegations, and I've got to say this, just to clarify things. When he said that he was cleared of all charges, that was not the case. The charges against him were dropped because of new material coming to light and withdrawal from key witnesses meant that prosecutors could not successfully been able to prosecute him if it went to trial. So that's why the charges were dropped. And he's not been cleared of the charges. Okay? And now we're going to talk about the open letter from Richard Arnold about the statement from Manchester United. I'm not going to read all of it out, it's too long. But I'm going to be pointing out key notes from the said statement. When audio footage and imagery was posted online in January 2022, my feelings were of shock and concern for the alleged victim. Her welfare wishes and perspective have been central to the club's approach ever since, as have the club's standards and values. While we immediately concluded that Mason should be suspended pending investigation, we were also conscious of our duty of care towards him and the importance of making a decision based on full information. Until February this year, this was a matter for the police and the Crown Prosecution Service. It was only when charges were dropped that the club discussed their allegations with Mason and others involved in the case. Our investigation sought to collate as much evidence as possible to establish facts and context. This was not a quick or straightforward process for a variety of reasons. It is essential for us to respect the rights and wishes of the alleged victim. Also, we have limited powers of investigation, which meant we were reliant on third-party cooperation. Timings have also been influenced by my desire to minimize the impact of the investigation on our men's and women's teams as well as our lionesses. I acknowledge that this gave more time for speculation, but the alternative would have been to compromise due process, or create ultimately disruption. And then he shared some facts about the case that was not in the public domain. The alleged victim requested the police to drop their investigation in April 2022. We were provided with alternative explanations for the audio recording, which was a short excerpt from a much longer recording, and for the images posted online. The alleged victim's family participated in the process and were given the opportunity to review and correct our factual findings. And then he goes on to say this: while I'm satisfied that Mason did not commit the acts he was charged with, Mason's accepted that he had made mistakes, which he takes responsibility for. I'm also mindful of the challenge that Mason would face rebuilding his career and raising a baby together with his partner in the harsh spotlight of Manchester United. Further, this case has provoked strong opinions, and it's my responsibility to minimise any distraction for the unity we are seeking within the club. Although we have decided that Mason will seek to rebuild his career away from Manchester United, that does not signal the end of this matter. The club will continue to offer its support both to the alleged victim and Mason to help them rebuild and move forward positively with their lives. Thank you for your committed support. Richard Arnold. So that was the statement. That's all three statements said, and I'm going to be talking about more information about this case and some information that was leaked over the past few days. So, the Athletic reporter Adam Crafton released this report suggesting that Manchester United will be bringing back Mason Greenwood, but plans were pushed back, and it was also supported by John Mercer, the director of football, and the manager Eric Ten Hag. The planned date to bring back Mason Greenwood was on the 4th of August, but that was pushed back, and there's been information about this saying Man United plans to bring back Greenwood were so advanced that they had planned the type of training shots they would be taken of him and how they would be filtered to the public, while plans were made for Eric Ten Hag would answer questions in press conferences. Following the Athletic reports this week, Manchester United executives held crisis meetings with staff to listen to concerns and try and justify proposed decision. Some staff is considering positions, as in resigning. Some even discussed a possible strike. That was also a scenario, but that's not happening because the situation is Mason's going. Man United's planning for Greenwood's return also contains extensive ongoing psychological and physical support, which includes the player being offered a form of counselling or therapy. And then the club's statement said, not like actual proper, but given passed on, it says it is entirely proper. We have taken a careful and thorough approach to planning for the various potential outcomes, including how we would engage with stakeholders and explain the decision after it was made. So that was the bombshell from the Athletic. This came after, on last Wednesday, United released a statement saying that the investigation is nearly complete, or was complete, and they'll be just telling stakeholders, but they didn't come to a final decision, and the wording sounds like he was coming back. And since those reports, it's not just the Athletic, the Sun, Manchester Evening News, etc., has heaped a bunch of backlash from fans, resulting in a U-turn from Mason Greenwood, and it was pretty confident that Greenwood will be playing for United again, but it's not happening, and he'll be leaving the club. And I'm gonna have to share my thoughts on it. Firstly, the club have handled it absolutely horrendously. The amount of time of it dragging on. I know it's not something that happens overnight, I understand, but it's just drawn out. It was too long. We needed answers as fans needed answers. Plus ongoing sale, transfers, and it was all a mess, and And the club should take absolute responsibility for that heap of a mess that they made with the Greenwood investigation. It was just terrible, beyond terrible, and they don't come out as saints. And there's no winners in this situation. Some fans want him back, but the majority wants him to leave. There's no winners in this situation. We've got to take that into account. Him being innocent, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I think he did commit those acts, the ones that were shown all around social media. I think he did it. We'll never know the full audio recording, just the 15 seconds, 20 seconds. We'll never know. So if there's any more innocent of him being innocent, then I don't think it's ever going to be released, but I doubt it. I really doubt that he's innocent. I definitely believe that he did commit those crimes. And plus, for him to rebuild his career at Manchester United is a definite no. The amount of abuse he'll get at away grounds, him being back in the Man United spotlight, questions about Greenwood in press conferences everywhere, it's just going to be a complete mess. And if United were to bring him back, then they should have sent him out on loan to another country. And now they've made a decision to bring him back to the squad. And also, shame on Man United for not consulting charities and listening to fans. Fans have opinions, and the backlash from those reports was strong, because they don't want Mason Greenwood back at Manchester United at all. This whole situation is just sad. It really is sad. From promising future Manchester United greats to now him being known as an offender. And those allegations will never go away. They'll be with him for the rest of his life. These actions cost him a career, and it's only for him to blame. And yeah, it's a very sad situation of all parties being involved in, and there's no winners in this situation. I want to know what you guys think. Please be respectful as always. This is a very, very difficult topic we're talking about, and people have strong emotions, and I understand, but please be respectful to others' opinions. And I said, if it's anything violence, abusive, or threats, then of course you're going to get banned. We don't allow that in our community. So yeah, it's a very, very difficult topic to talk about, and it's been very hard to make this video. It really has. And now the whole situation is over, it can now move on, but they won't at the same time, because it's going to be lingering over them for years, and it won't go away. I should have said that in the first place. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.